and welcome back. Really for this part I want to try and get all the lighting circuit finished first. So I've got to lift all these boards up, so before I do all the resin I'm going to get this done, and that's where I'm going to start now. So this is just as simple as one clip. I've already dropped the wires off from there, so I'm just going to put it on its back just to make life easier. And get a lighting circuit installed. Right, that's my lighting circuit on. I've actually put two 1k resistors for the street lights because I want to dull them down. I've also took a chance to just fit in the point motors while the board was on its side, just make it a lot easier. And it just goes down, and I've got some connectors that I just need to tap in, and then I can join all the boards up. Well, that is all the wiring done. And now I've got to get all the layout back together. It's all in individual pieces again. And what I have done here is just got some connectors to put a finish off, which I just need to wire some of these up. And I'm going to need to put one there to link to the other board. And that is for the shuttle system. So I've got lighting power, shuttle power. I've taken the back board off at the moment so I can access the canal a little bit better. And I've just put in a little bit more paint at the back end there, so I'll just let that dry, finish off all the edging, and then start to get the resin in. Didn't want to put the resin in before I'd done the wiring because I needed to tip all the board upside down. So what I want to do now is get all this prepared, ready for the resin. Everything's all nice and solid, so I shouldn't get any leaks, I'm hoping so. I've decided to just cut a hole in the bottom of the boat. Just did a bit of sanding to start with, it really works, so I just got the knife, and I want to sort of glue that in there. And then I want the resin to sort of fill up the boat as well. Right, time to seal this end up, and I'm just using one of these plastic containers that the track came in. So I think this was the track curves actually, so it should be plenty size. Right, I've got a good piece cut, and I'm just going to sort of position that. I'm not 100% sure how to mount this still yet with which glue. A lot of the time I use an all-purpose glue, but I have used hot glue and got in a mess with that because it tends to not be flush enough. So I'm going to have a go with some UHU. I think that should be strong enough. Well, I hope it will be strong enough. So I've sort of marked exactly where I want to be. And then leave it dripping on the floor. And I've gone Now in a mess. Okay. Right, I'm going to let it clamp up together. Not much purchase. No, that's not going to work. There's not enough behind it to clamp it, so I'm hoping it'll just stay in place. Right, I think this is all completely watertight. I'll put some hot glue around the edges to make sure, and I can't see where it would leak through. Maybe there, maybe a possibility. So might need to just look at that a little bit more. Right, time to get this at least one bit of the resin pour in. So I'll warm these bottles up. Just warm. Yeah, they're plenty warm enough now. Sorry about the mess on the desk. I've just got loads of things that I'm sort of trying to work on. All at the same time, everything. I'm going to mix the whole lot up, and I'm going to put some in the harbour and some in the river scene. I've got more of this, so I'm not even sure if I'm going to have enough. Much more out there. Looking on top there. Right, and then the next bit is give it a good stir. Just for about a minute or so, initially. And then I need to add in the murky water. So that's good shade. And I'm going to make this one quite a dark colour, so I think that was 12, so let's give that a stir in and let's just see. But it is actually quite surprising how dark it goes. But this is only a first layer, so I want the first layer darker anyway, so I might put a bit more in than that. So I don't want to see the bottom. I'll put another 5 in there. Now that is going to be really dark. So now it is a long stir. 10 minutes. Right, that is now 10 minutes and the arm's aching. I'm just going to make sure it's all scraped off the sides as it shows in the instructions. I could do with a bit of cloth to put that on. Right, and then let's get this resin in. I have prepared the floor with lots of plastic bags, bin bags. Okay, so let's go for it. I'm hoping that we don't get any leaks whatsoever, and I'm just going to pour in quite a thinnish layer initially. I want to just check for the leaks. I'll make sure it's all level, so that's not going to cause any problems. Use the stick to just move it around a little bit. And I'm only putting a really thin layer in, just in case. And that's all the first pour in, and I've just checked for leaks and that's all okay. I've also done the same with the dock scene as well, so that one's quite a thin layer actually, so I should have evened it out a little bit more, but it will dry level, and then when I pour the next lot of resin in, so that will have a complete full one to go in there, and I probably need 2 in the river section, but I've only got 1 more full one, so I'm going to cover those with some foil and leave it for a day or so. Well, that's been a couple of days now and that's not looking too bad. I did do a little bit more in here. And obviously I've got some that's gone into the boat, but it does need another pour in there. So this has been about 1 and a bit in there, and same, 1 and a half I'd say, and about 1 and a bit in the dock scene. So it's pretty solid now. I think it's not quite perfect yet, but I'm going to leave it a bit longer, then I'm going to get the next pour, but obviously I'm not going to let it flow into the boat now, so I'm going to have to just pour a little bit into each one of those on the next pour, being as careful as possible, because like too much will just look ridiculous. And the dock looking okay. It's slightly different colour. I think that's where I poured the second one in, and I just didn't really mix the 2 resins together. So, but I really want a little bit more height on both of them, and especially on the dock scene, because I'd like it to be just below these steps if possible. But obviously resin costs a fortune, so I can't keep using loads. I've got 2 left, and I'm going to use 1 on the river and 1 on there, and I think that should do. Right, I've got the second pour, and this one is a bit lighter, so this was just 10 drops in there, so I'm just going to go for it. trying to get it everywhere. I need to make sure that I'm going to use the whole lot. But I need to save a little bit just to put inside the boat there. How are we looking? I'm going to just come around. That's not looking bad. And it's flowed nice all the way through, so and okay, that's about the right level. As you can see, we've got a nice good level there, so and a few bits buried inside, and that sort of a thinner, more opaque look should be good. Just got to leave that now for a while, and I just need to do the same in the dock scene and get it to about the same level. So just to keep the heat in so the resin cures easier, I need to cover it back up. It's been a sort of a good more than 24 hours now. That's not looking bad actually, so it seems to be working quite well. A good tip though is always to leave a bit left in the bottom, and you'll know if it's gone completely solid. So this is nearly, so otherwise you'd be tempted to just put your finger on it and then ruin it. I did get a little bit of a blob just on there, never noticed that until I just pulled this cover off, so that's not going to be easy to get up, so I'll disguise that with a bit of greenery. So, but yeah, that's looking pretty good. One thing I did forget, I forgot to put a ladder on the side before I start filling it in, so that could be tricky. Maybe if I rest it right on the actual surface, it will then the reflection will go in, but I am going to put some waves on there because it wouldn't be completely still. You've got the Thames supposed to be running here, so, and that's sort of running into the Thames, so there would be waves coming along there, so I'm going to have to work out the O gauge size sort of ripples on the surface. On the boat, I just put a little bit more of the murky, just a small drop in each one, and then give it a quick move around, so it looked like the mud and silt had all sat in the actual boat itself. And there was a few bits. I did decide not to throw the trolleys in, so but I will have to make this a little bit more glossy, this mud, so make it look a bit more mud-like. But I'm going to just leave that for a little bit longer. Probably at least another day to go completely solid, because before. But that's quite a nice deep pour. Looks pretty good. Right, this should be totally solid now. Yeah. So I want to try and get this plastic off the front now. Should come off relatively easy, but maybe a little bit messy because I've used hot glue. So I'm going to have to do a lot of tidying up. The good thing about this sort of plastic is the resin doesn't want to stick to it, so you always get a little bit of a lip on the resin. So I'm going to need to just trim that off a little bit and tidy up where the glue has pulled the paint off, and also all underneath. So, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Just do the same on the doxing. And that's all nice and solid. This is a little bit more tricky. One thing I have noticed, a bit of the resin has gone behind the plastic here, so I need to peel that off, probably cut it just down there. So that's the beauty about having it painted. At least I can just then peel the paint and then repaint it. But should look alright once I've tidied all that back up. I've added a little bit of filler just to where I've pulled a little bit off. Need to sand that down and then give it another coat of black paint, and that'll be fine. I've started to get all the buildings lit up, so I've got those and those warehouses on that side. Signals now are working. And I've added the lights to the station, so now I've just got to get the holes drilled through and just work out how I'm going to get these wires all the way through this section, because it's hollow in the middle, all the way through the bottom. So that's a slightly challenging part to this, so I'm going to have a go at drill some holes and see if I can get these wires through. And I need to make sure I've got this in the where I want it. I've also got some platform lights. I used these on a previous layout, this same type, so I want to put, so obviously I can't put one there because the bridge is there. Well, I could probably feed the wire, but I can't get to drill. So that will probably have to go roughly near the end of the platform, which I don't think it would be very good. So don't think one there would be quite good. So if that station was something like that, I could probably put one there and then just another one this side of the station. I possibly could. And I don't think that would look that good. So it would either have to be right here or right up against the subway. So didn't plan that quite well for putting lights. So I think the station will just have 2 platform lights on it. But I've got to, all the grey paint is sort of been peeling off on these. So I need to get these painted up, and obviously need to extend some wires. So I'm going to have a look at doing that. So I've drilled my holes. I've put a bit of wire down, but don't seem to be soldering to this wire for some reason. So I may have got sort of the wrong type of bus wire. So I may see if we can get that to solder. Yeah, that's stuck on, so I'm going to see if I can pull that through. So, guarantee this is going to just fall straight off. I hope not. Because maybe a big head hole. Well, that's come through. So we've got the wire that's come through. So I just need to solder that onto the lighting bus. That seemed easier than I thought. After that wired in, I've just got to glue it down there. Make sure it's in the right place. Getting glue everywhere. But that's not bad. A little bit of movement that I've got. So I'm going to fix that in place now. What I've also been working on in the background while the resin's been drying is getting the houses built. And obviously I've got to put the backyards all in yet, but it's taken quite a while getting these built. I've just got these 3 blocks of 4 made at the moment, and I just sort of show you how they will look on the layout, and because they're going to be sort of back-to-back terraces, so I'm going to need to leave a small gap for somebody to walk down with just the backyards, and I should just have enough room, I'm hoping, but I need to then lay a rope system out. So I have my removable section in the middle where all these buildings are going to sit on, and that will be connected to the lighting circuit. And sort of have a road going up there. I've just put a basic pavement on the edge here at the moment just to give me an idea of sort of how the size is going to go. So I'm going to need, I think there. So I'm going to need to cut the board, so it cuts a groove, so it's a bit shallower for the road, and then I've got the pavement, and as you can see I've got enough room for back to back, and then one at the back will become sort of a low relief at the back there. So that's the idea of that. So I've got space for sort of larger building here, like I've got some block of flats, or I've got a little warehouse that I'm looking at putting in, and I think that'll look quite good, but there's a lot more of these to build yet, and these do take quite a few hours of building, sort of at least 2 full evenings for each block. but when you see like a good row of them all together, actually sort of gives you, so you just need to make an alleyway in between, and it sort of gives quite a good look, I think, you know, so it will be really nice. And I've got a special backdrop that I've been looking at that should sort of carry on the scene. That's the idea of it. Well, I think that's it really, all I can do. I mean, a lot of this has been waiting time, waiting for resins to dry, several different layers. I could have obviously got some more boats built, so I need to get another one of these built, because I want 2 on there, and then I want another larger ship on there, so probably the Scalesins Clyde puffer going there. I'm thinking of getting a couple more of these 3D printed and just having these on here, but maybe get one more. I've not put any of the waves on here yet, because I need to decide on how the boat's going to sit, but I'm actually quite pleased in how it's all come along. I'll give you a quick close-up of all of that. The buildings started to come on, and I was sort of building these while I was waiting for resin to dry, and these still take quite a few hours to make. There's like at least 2 evenings worth of work in each one, so you're looking about 8 hours of building. You know, I suppose 2 hours a house. That's not too bad. The lights are much better. That one does seem still quite bright because the LEDs are quite close, but running the 470 470 ohm resistors makes them look a lot better, and I'm just using 1K on the street lights. I'm going to decide I'm going to put some lights in the crane and a spotlight on the front, but I missed the spotlight when I was building it, and I have no idea where it went, so I'm going to have to sort of make something up for that spotlight. Also, I still need to put the hook, but I wanted to put a chain, and I haven't got the chain to put on it. I've got some backdrops to go on. I need to hide this exit, so I've got a viaduct that I'm going to use to hide that exit. I've only just sort of started that, just printed them off really, and I need to start really getting on the town scene. So the backdrop only arrived sort of yesterday, and I've had a quick look at it, and I think it'll work. It's been specially printed for me, and I'm just hoping that it looks quite good. So you should see that next week, because I want to do a quick update, get the backdrops on, get a few more buildings built, and really just get a quick update, you know, so I'm not waiting on hours of resin to set and things like that this time. So I'll give you a quick close-up of how the resin's gone. So as you can see, we've got it's pretty good. There's no air bubbles or anything like that. It's not destroyed any of my paper textures, so waterproof them well. And the same on this river sort of scene. So there's a bit more work to do around here and things like that, getting that to look a bit more realistic. As you can see, we've got like partially sunken vessel there that's been sort of beached up on the embankment, and actually I quite like the stillness. I don't know, I mean that's not really realistic, so it does need some waves putting on it, but it does actually look quite good. But if I'm doing the waves, I need to sort of make sure I've got all the boats in place, so you're not putting a boat on top of some waves and it's sitting and looking a little bit silly. But I'll leave you now, and I'll just have the last few minutes of just some trains running on the top section. Can't run any on this bottom section. I've not finished it off yet. I've still got the bits from the point motors still sticking through that I haven't trimmed off properly. I've not even tested the wiring on these since I put the point motors in, but I wish you a very good evening or a very good rest of the day. Take care, and if you want to see a few of the trains running on the top end, stick around for a couple of minutes. Okay then, take care.